do you have sort of, and also from the standpoint of, well, if you want to like solve the problem, then why don't you all vote for third party? I said that a little bit too, but it didn't work out too well for the presidential election. But do you have any sort of like ideas or proposals for how to combat this on a like day to day, like getting the votes sort of level,
So
besides getting your name on the ballot? Because I think from when we were talking, you're fairly close to getting that signature count. But once you get there, what sort of plans and ideas do you have to go forth
absolutely,
and to win it? Yeah.
absolutely. So I think that oftentimes we know third party candidates, we don't have the big establishment money. That's very factual as well, right? And so, as I had the opportunity to meet you, what you saw was we need all boots on the ground, and that includes me as a candidate. And so, I see there's so much benefit in that because when I knocked on your door, I had no idea if you were a Republican, a Democrat, or you supported third parties. But what I did know is that I needed you to understand that as a candidate for governor, that I am fighting, we are fighting for humanity and equity, And so what I saw was that as I was, reaching out and as we're knocking on doors, I've had countless people say to me, look, I'm a Republican, and I vote Republican. But after hearing me, they said, I'm going to give you a chance. So again, sometimes we stick with tradition and it can be very oppressive and it can be very dangerous. So again, my inability to afford, all of the voter registration that the two-party system has so they can do targeted canvassing is actually an opportunity. It's an opportunity to meet community members, to hear what their concerns are, what their needs are, and to also let them know that you no longer have to choose between the lesser of the two evils. So, what we have seen is that when we have the opportunity to meet people, they are normally on board after learning what we're about. So one of our big continuous goals is outreach. We must continue to be boots on the ground. If I can ever tell my story one day, I literally sometimes go from teaching, hopping in my car to door knocking, right? Because I'm a strong
Hmm.
believer that anything worth having is worth fighting, like, you know what for. And it's not going to come easy. So, again, as we continue to enlighten people and let them know what we're about, and let them know that there is another option, I feel very, very strongly that we're going to continue to gain support. The other reality is this. I hear many people say, "Oh, I only vote during the presidential election." That has helped the establishment. That has helped the Democratic and the Republican Party, right?
Very
If
much so.
we're
Yeah.
able to get a very, very high voter turnout and help people understand the importance, and their power in turning out, during this election, again, both parties have a major challenge, in front of them. And the reality is that as it stands now, things can always change. Terry McAuliffe is taking the lead in the Democratic Party. So all of those progressive supporters that are for the other two, the other three, four candidates, right? What are you going to do? Many of them state that they're anti Terry McAuliffe. What are you going to do? Are you going to allow yourself to fall into the vote blue no matter who, even though that is clearly a dangerous move? Or are you going to look outside of the box and say, you know what? Maybe she's not a veteran politician, but she's an impacted Virginian who will absolutely put people over profit in politics. And that's what we need. I would much rather have someone who can relate to what the people who are most severely impacted and oppressed, than someone who is making decisions out of privilege that has no connection with what's really going on in our most marginalized communities, that the struggles of our working class community members.
Definitely. I think even for me personally, I was planning on voting during the for the governor election, but I hadn't really done much research or thought into it. I have a vested interest in this now, based
Hey,
on, yeah, exactly, based on what you said. And even if we don't agree on everything, being able to hear and ask you questions and kind of, this is not sort of the access that you would get to somebody running for a spot like governor or senate or anything. This is not something that you would get um, ever really. So I'm very grateful for this opportunity as well. But I want to